We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Today we discuss in the 8th semester subject. Subject is quality engineering and the subject code is 2181920. Okay. Today topic is the 7 basic quality tools. Okay. The 7 basic quality tools is implemented by Toru Ishikawa. Toru Ishikawa is a quality guru, renew quality guru. Okay. The Toru Ishikawa says that the 95% of the quality is related to the problem in the factory. It can be solved with 7 fundamental quantitative tools, means 7 basic quality tools. Simple said that if you apply in the 7 basic quality tools, 95% your problem will be resolved. Okay, let's see the 7 basic quality tools. The 7 basic quality tools: first, fishbone diagram, histogram, Pareto analysis, flow charts, scatter plots, control charts, and the last, run chart. Okay, this is 7 basic quality tool. In out of 7, today we discussed first 2, fishbone diagram, and second is histogram. So let's see the first, histogram. Before histogram, we just understand who is Ishikawa, Toru Ishikawa. Now, where did the basic 7 comes from? The Toru Ishikawa says that is a democratizing statistic. The 7 tools is made basically statistical analysis, so we can reduce the average person or less complicated for the average person. The main purpose of the 7 basic quality tools is a statistical analysis. Second thing is a good visual aid makes statistical and quality control and more comparable. First, fishbone diagram. So in a fishbone diagram, there is no statics involved. Second, maps out the process or problem. We can easily identify the process or we can easily identify the problem by using the fishbone diagram. Makes improvement easier. We can easily improvement. In fishbone diagram, it looks like just like a fish skeleton. Okay. So what is the main purpose of the fishbone diagram? Is a graphical representation of the trail leading to the root cause of the problem. Means we can easily find out the root cause by using the fishbone diagram. How is it done? So first, decide which quality characteristics, outcome or effect you want to examine. Means what is the main problem you facing in your area or your product or any manufacturing process. So in that, Pareto fishbone diagram basically divides in the 4 category. First, backbone. Okay, in backbone, just we have to represent straight line. Draw straight line, means is a backbone. Second, ribs is a categorized. Third point, medium-sized bonds is a secondary cause. And last, small bonds means root cause. Each and everything we done in next slide, so you can easily understand. So what is the benefit? means break problems down into the size piece to find out the root cause. In fishbone diagram, we can easily find out the root cause, means main problem we can identify. Faster teamwork, common understanding of factors causing the problem, roadmap to verify picture of the process. In the fishbone diagram, we can easily understand where is the main problem, or we can easily justify. And the last follows the brainstorming relationship. Now let's see the constructing of the fishbone diagram. So example, we take one example. Suppose if I want to improve the ultimate tensile strength. Okay. So first identify the problem is a step number one. Okay, our problem is how to improve the ultimate tensile strength. So let's see this ultimate tensile strength. Step number two, draw the spines and bonds. Okay. Okay, the straight line is represent the spine. Okay, an angle is provided. This is our bonds. Okay, next, same improve ultimate tensile strength. Okay, now step number three, identify the different area where the problems may arise. Means where the problem is arise. Like example, we take simple example like tool design. Okay, we have to improve the ultimate tensile strength, but the problems arise from the tool design. Okay, and maybe material. Okay, this is the main cause, tool design and materials. Okay, let's see next. Okay, Sam, here we till completed. Now step number 4, identify what this specific cause could be. Okay, so here the material is our the causes. So in material, what should be the problem? Okay, let's see the first, maybe thickness of the material. Second, melting point of the materials, properties of the material, and last, composition. Okay, these are the factors. So we cannot improve the ultimate tensile strength. So if we use proper thickness, proper melting point, same properties and composition, we can easily solve out this problem material. So we can improve the tensile strength. Okay. Similarly, let's see tool design. Okay. Same thing, tool design is also important factors. Okay. In tool design, same thing, tool material is the most important parameters. Second, geometry of the pin. Which geometry we have to use? Pin geometry. Next, solder diameter, solder geometry, or also rack angle. So in tool design, if we choose these 4 items, rack angle, material, pin geometry, and solder geometry, so we can easily improve the ultimate tensile strength. Step number 5, use the finished diagram to brainstorm solution to the main problem. See, here our main problem is how to improve the ultimate strength. So if we improve the ultimate tensile strength, then we have to choose these parameters like tool design, clamp design, machine, and material. So we can easily improve the ultimate tensile strength. Okay, next, histogram. Okay, histogram we already study in 8th standard. Okay, 8th standard, 9th standard. So histogram is just like a bar chart. Second, used to graphical represents is a group of data. What is the main purpose of the histogram? The main purpose is the spread or variation of a set of data point in a graphical form. So how is it done? First, just we have to collect the data, 15 to 100 data point or 100 to 100, whatever. Second, we have to select the range, means range of the data, determine the range of data. Then next, we have to decide the interval, okay, between the two range, means calculate the size of the class interval. Next, divide the data point into the classes, determine the class boundary. So we can easily identify, suppose 0 to 5, how many data is available, like 5 to 10, how much, 10 to 15, etc., etc. So we can easily identify the point or easily identify the point. And counts of the data a point in each class. Simple. Then next we have to just draw the chart, draw the histogram. So this is the stable process exhibiting the bell shape. It's a simple histogram, just like a bar chart. Okay, now let's one example. The benefits to understand at a glance the variation that exists in the process. Means we can easily identify the variation. Second, the shape of the histogram will show the process behavior. Is also important. The shape of the histogram. Next, often it will tell you the dig deeper for otherwise unseen cause of variation. Second, the shape and size of the dispersion. Second, most important, capability of the process. Means we can use to determine the capability of the process. And also we can improve the process by using the starting point. Okay. Now we take one example from a set of data compute like sum, mean, maximum, minimum, range. Range means is a difference between maximum and minimum value. So using a range to estimate beginning and end of the data. First, calculate the width of each column by dividing the range by the number of columns. It's simple, very simple. So range divided by number of columns is equal to width. So now we take example, the paneer tikka pizza example. Okay, is a highly demand in Saturday, Sunday. So let's say the owner wants distribution of paneer tikka and Sunday night sale. So he can easily understand in the next Sunday how much quantity I have to, how I want to need, means ingredients. Data set from the last Sunday slice. Okay, this is the recorded data for the last Sunday. Okay, this is slice number 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc., etc. Okay. So mean means summation of all data divided by total number of slice. So we can find out the mean. Maximum, okay, the maximum slice is 7, minimum 0, maybe some customers not needed. Range means is a difference, we earlier told you, is a difference between maximum value and minimum value, means 7 minus 0 is equal to 7. So next question, for a 7 columns, what would be the width? Okay, range divided by column. Okay, means 7, range is 7 and total number of column is 7, so is equal to 1 slice. Okay, so histogram, so we can easily identify Okay, in histogram, this is in x-axis is represent the slice of pizza, and y-axis represent the order. Okay, means in histogram, in diagram, we can easily justify as well as we can easily understand. Okay, how much slice of the pizza is needed. Okay, here we can easily identify the slice number 2 is a maximum sell. Okay. Similarly, slice number 2 is the second highest selling. So in this histogram, we can easily identify. Okay, the 2 slice of pizza most common order place. Distribution of cells useful for forecasting next Sunday's late night demand. If you were on a shop manager, how could you apply this information? Okay, thank you everyone. For any query or suggestion, please contact me on this number or you can meet me by mail. Okay, thank you.